Hello, everyone, and welcome to Miss Epps Storytime. Today, I'm going to be reading a very special book for you guys that's all about courage. And this right here is the question that I want you to be thinking about while I'm reading. This says, how is courage a part of having integrity? Now, you might be thinking, well, what's integrity? Well, integrity is one of our Paul Pride expectations. Which letter is for integrity? I hope you said I. It's the I for integrity. And integrity is being strong or brave enough to do what you know is right, even when it's difficult. Sometimes we think integrity might also mean doing what's right, even when no one's looking, even when you don't get recognized for it. So, with that being said, here is the book I'm reading for you guys today. It is called Braving Difficulties: Life Principle of Courage. It is written by Christy Sheffield and illustrated, that means the person who drew it, is Hannah Toohey. This book is published by Great Expectations, so I have permission from Great Expectations to read for you guys today. All right, let's get started. I'm going to show the book up close so you can see the pretty pictures, but you won't be able to see me. Okay. Mosey was not cute. Her eyes were small and her eyesight was poor. Her nose was pointed, and when she showed her sharp teeth, she was especially unattractive. She had a rat-like tail, and sometimes her coat looked ragged. She was a possum. She was unsightly, but she faced the difficulties of her life and did what needed to be done. That's Mosey. When she went near houses, dogs barked fiercely to drive her away. Homeowners were angry when she dug in their smooth green lawns, hunting grubs to eat. She was an unwelcomed pest, but she faced the difficulties of her life and did what needed to be done. People didn't really like her digging up their yards. I wouldn't like that either. Much of her time was spent fleeing danger from predators who would attack her, like coyotes, bobcats, and owls. Ooh, look at that big mean owl. Scary. And people. Mosey couldn't run very fast, and once she was terrified when a young boy caught her by the tail and held her until she wriggled loose. There was always the threat that she might be struck by one of the cars or trucks roaring along the road. She faced dangers, but she did what needed to be done. One winter, it was colder than it had ever been in Mosey's whole lifetime. She couldn't find bugs or fruit or mice to eat. The countryside was coated with ice and snow. Every place she searched for a drink, she only found solid ice. One night, when Mosey came to a farmhouse, she smelled cat food, and there was an open door. Do you guys see that open door? Mosey ate the few nibbles of cat food, and then she was drawn to the warmth coming from a heated cat bed. That cat has a heated bed. Mosey climbed in. It was a wonderful relief from the frigid cold until, what do you think's gonna happen next? Mosey heard a door scrape open and footsteps coming her way. She held very still, but then a man's hand reached into the cat bed where she lay. Let's see if the heat is working, said the man. His hand brushed Mosey's fur coat. What could she do? There was no way for her to run away. She gave her strongest possum growl. Wonder what that sounds like. Do your strongest possum growl. Ooh. She sounded threatening, but she wasn't very good at defending herself at all. The man yelped and yanked his hand back. Then he grabbed the cat bed and threw it with Mosey out the door. He came chasing after her, but she floundered through the snow into the low-hanging branches of a nearby cedar tree and escaped. Mosey faced danger, but she did what needed to be done. She was hungry. All right. Finally, the icy winter relaxed into spring, and with the warmer weather came babies for Mosey. 3 little Joeys. That's what they call baby possums. They call them Joeys, and we'll see those in a minute. Mosey, like her marsupial relative, the kangaroo, had a pouch where her babies stayed as they grew. So they're in her pouch right now. The spring shifted much too quickly into hot, dry, windy days. Once again, it was hard for Maisie to find food. Bugs were scarce, garden plants were spindly and brown, and there were no fruits fallen to the ground in any of the orchards she visited. So she's hungry again. What is she gonna do? Oh, I went the wrong way. There we go. There's her babies. There's her little Joey. See them? One afternoon, after the Joeys had grown big enough that they were too large for their mother's pouch, Mosey left them in a loose nest in a hollow log. She set out earlier than usual with the sun still in the sky because she needed to find food. She would have been relieved just to find a drink of water. It was late afternoon, but the day was still as hot as an oven, and the strong wind lashed relentlessly. Goodness. Gradually, Mosey began to feel uneasy because the blowing wind was carrying a new smell. It was smoke. A wildfire, fanned by the gusts of wind, was blazing up over the hills behind Mosey. Leaping burst from one cedar tree to the next. It was burning right toward the nest of baby possums. Oh no, I bet she's worried. Mosey turned and began her waddling run back in the direction of the hollow log and the helpless little possums. The smoke was choking thick, and she had to dodge away from the road as big red fire trucks rolled past with sirens wailing. Where is Mosey? Do we see her? Oh, there she is. She was passed by some deer and a raccoon. They were running away from the fire, but Mosey was running toward the fire. See, she's going this way because that's where her little Joeys are. She had to rescue the helpless Joeys. The tongues of fire were already burning near when Mosey reached the hollow log. The babies were more than ready to clamber onto their mother's back. They held tight as she turned and retraced her path, but this time she was running away from the fire. Mosey's lungs were full of smoke, and her throat was parched from thirst. She had to stop. The sky darkened and lightning flashed. Big drops of rain began to splash down. She and the Joeys crawled under shelter as the rain pelted down. That's a big storm. Look at that lightning. When the storm moved on, the rain had washed away the smoke and stopped the fire. Mosey and her Joeys were safe. It was one more time when Mosey faced danger and did what needed to be done. What a brave possum. I'll say that's some scary stuff. All right. So I like to think about this quote. After I read the book, it made me think of this, and I've been seeing this quote everywhere. So I wanted to share it with you guys. It's be strong because things will get better. It may be stormy now, but it never rains forever. And that's so true. So we go through a lot of different things, but they never last forever, and we always get through them. So remember that whenever it's stormy and things aren't going your way. All right. So remember, we talked about integrity. So, what are some examples of times when someone your age might need to have courage and show integrity? Kind of like Mosey did. She didn't want to run back towards the fire, but she had to save her little Joeys. That was very important to her. So think about a time when you showed courage, even whenever it was really hard to do. All right, that's all I have for you guys. I hope you had fun. This is a very, very good book. So I recommend, if you guys can find this somewhere, going out and buying it or borrowing it from a library, because it was really fun to read. All right, bye guys.